You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
And now it's time to start reviewing that interview I did on Monday with Addic Brillon, and he is a specialist obesity dietitian from the Kent Community Health NHS Trust. This is what he had to say when I spoke to him. Firstly, welcome along. Thank you very much for speaking to us this evening.
Good evening, Daniel. Thank you for inviting me.
I was wondering if you could give us kind of an introduction, tell us a little bit about yourself and also a little bit more about your role as well.
Well, my background is pretty vast. I don't want to bore the listeners about my entire background, but just to mention, obviously you can hear I have an accent, so you need to explain first how come I have this accent. I actually was born in Latvia, which is East Europe. From there I moved to the Middle East. I grew up in Israel. I moved to Canada to study, and now I'm here. So people say I sound French, but I have nothing French in me. And in this country I've been for the past 10 years. It's my fourth location. I was Northampton, then in Enfield, London, moved to Manchester, and now here in Kent. And I'm specializing in obesity, but not just obesity, morbid obesity, which is BMI more than 40. And in this area, I would like to discuss a little bit more about our services, what we do, and give some little bit more information what to do about weight. And in this area of the service that I'm part of, the Specialized Weight Management Service, which called SWIMS, acronyms. We are based in Sittingbourne, but we have 3 sites at the moment. One Isle of Sheppey, in Sheppey Community Hospital, in Sittingbourne Memorial Hospital, and in Faversham. And we're basically based at Faversham Healthcare Centre there. And people who have weight issues, I will tell later on how to get in touch with us. But specifically, I would like to discuss later on about some issues that anyone can do at home, how address it before actually coming to our service. And of course, coming to our service, you will receive the full support that you require.
Now, I know you wanted to touch upon what causes overweight, or what can cause overweight and obesity.
Yes, I want to concentrate on a simple equation of energy balance. We need to understand that weight equals energy intake, which is food, and energy out, which is exercise. When this equation is balanced, we have maintenance of weight. When people starting exercising less mobile, obviously the energy, when the energy going out become less, we have a problem here. But also we need to understand is that when people eating more, is also a problem. So when somebody eating too much, basically, and not exercising, or not exercising at all, that's probably the most prevalent of current obesity, I would say. Different degrees of food intake and different degrees of exercise are crucial, but people who really seriously want to tackle weight, they really need to change eating habits. Of course, increasing exercise is paramount. When I'm talking about exercise, I'm not talking about running marathons or preparing for Olympics. I'm talking about moderate exercise, about 30 minutes a day, almost every day, at least 5 days a week, but preferably every day. And as I'm a dietitian, I'm concentrating specifically on the food, obviously. And eating healthy, balanced diet, there is no way to escape from it. And when we're discussing about healthy, balanced diet, it's basically having 3 main meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, more or less same time of the day. And foods have to be balanced. We cannot have one food item without the other. We're talking about balanced meal having a carbohydrate or starches, do the same thing. Fruit and vegetables, proteins, which is the meat and fish. A meal has to contain all these ingredients. We cannot have a meal only having just potatoes or just meat only, because if an ingredient is missing, the meal is not balanced. In that case, we'll start feeling the consequences, hungry, want to eat more. Skipping meals is one of the major things when people feel very, very hungry toward the next meal. And when somebody is very hungry, obviously, the amount of food can be consumed quite big. So that's why we want to eat before a meal, but we don't want to be ravenous. If somebody is ravenous, meaning that something went wrong the day before, earlier the day, either skip a meal or ate imbalanced meal and so on. So having a balanced meal and having it in regular times is really, really paramount. I would probably say that you want to have about 3 hours between meals. That's a normal meal. For the evening meal, if somebody eats evening meal very late and go to bed, that's a problem, because the energy is not used, and basically you go bring the energy to bed and then accumulates, which is a problem. So I would say for the evening meal, you need to have, if it's a big evening meal, at least 4 hours before going to bed. If it's a smaller type of a meal, a snack meal, about 2 hours. But definitely not going to bed half an hour or 1 hour after a meal. That's probably the worst case scenario. And I think that's basically, I want to illustrate that the equation of energy in, which is food, energy out, which is exercise, have to be part of how we live our life. If some people, for example, very sick or for whatever reason are not mobile, still the nutrition aspect is crucial, because it will take over the fact that somebody cannot exercise. So it's not good to say basically, because I'm immobile, I have pain in my legs, I cannot move, I'm gaining weight simply because I'm not active. That's correct, but it's not an excuse to do something about weight, because changing eating habits will still take account of inability to exercise. That's I want to be clear on that perspective.
We are this evening talking to a specialist obesity dietitian. So I guess the next thing to ask is, are there any quick fixes?
Aren't we all wish there was? Unfortunately, as you may expect, there is no one quick fix. And think about it. Why there's so many programs, commercial organizations? You can hear so many books coming, every Monday, Thursday, so many articles, so many journals. The reason is there is no one single solution. If there was, everybody would be doing it, isn't it? If you have basically a headache, you're going to take a paracetamol.
Yeah.
You don't have to think what I'm going to take for my headache. But because we don't have one simple solution, that's why there's so many programs promising or saying, if you do it with us, your weight reduction is guaranteed. So it's not the case. I mean, I'm not saying that not good, because obviously if somebody's follow them, weight will be getting off, obviously. But the question is, will the weight remain off? And I think most people who have done any type of diets, you're probably aware of the expression yo-yo dieting, because weight is reduced, then after a few months it's going back again, if sometimes even more. So maintenance is the most important part of every aspect of every successful weight reduction, whatever the way weight reduction was reduced. Any way the weight reduction was achieved. And maintenance, as I mentioned before, is the key of balanced diet. I already mentioned a few keys before about the healthy balanced meals, the regular eating times, not skipping meals. And what I will touch a little bit more later on about what we do in our service. But there is no way that if somebody reducing weight and, with any slimming organization or following a book without maintenance phase. Maintenance phase is basically eating for life. It's not basically saying, oh, I've reduced right now 4 stone. I followed this amazing new book, was very successful. But now, after I got this 4 stone off, I can resume my previous eating habits. Well, if you do it, you will get the weight back as it used to be. People need to understand there are no shortcuts. It's change for life. It's a change of lifestyle forever. Maintenance can be achieved only by healthy eating. And the funny thing is, the healthy eating stage can apply to any successful weight reduction diet. Whenever somebody achieves weight loss, okay, great. But then if we move into the weight maintenance phase about healthy eating that I already mentioned, the weight loss will be maintained. The crucial part is not going back to the previous eating habits. And that has to be reiterated every time. The funny thing is, if somebody starts going straight away of implementing maintenance phase, which means the healthy eating diet, the balanced diet, weight will start getting off regardless. So the funny thing is, you don't have to go to any kind of posh, expensive weight program, weight management, weight reduction program. You actually can go to start eating healthily, and the weight will be getting off you, and probably for a long time. And that's exactly what we're teaching our clients when they come to our service. And there is no escape, absolutely no escape from eating a balanced diet. And so fortunately, there are no quick fixes. And so I hope you're not disappointed, but it's possible to achieve it for life.
Now, how much is what you drink important?
It's one of the most important things about basically general health, hydration level, keeping hydrated. And for weight, what I have found that people who have weight issues, to a quite big extent, don't drink enough. And unfortunately, as we mature and get older, the sensation of thirst is not so strong, become actually reduced with age. So sometimes we may confuse hunger with actually we're thirsty. The amount of liquid required, the guidance of the British Dietetic Association in this country is between 6 to 8 cups of fluids a day. And I would say people with weight issues, they probably need to strive at least 8 to 10 cups of fluids a day. When I say about fluids, I'm specifically referring for sugar-free, people who have weight issues. Sugar-free, anything sugar-free is fine. Juice is not a solution because juice have a lot of sugar. Unless it's sugar-free squash, that's fine. Tea, coffee, absolutely fine, with sweetener or without anything, of course without sugar. And it's okay to have a little bit of milk. But I would not say you want to have a milky coffee or milky tea, basically a cup of milk with just a little bit of coffee or tea. Because we need to understand, even though milk is fluid, it basically equivalent to liquid food, really. So drinking milk is not enough to hydrate. When I'm talking about fluids, it's predominantly sugar-free liquids, water, sugar-free squashes, tea or coffee without sugar, and spread throughout the day. So not just thinking, oh, it's time late, I'm start drinking right now 10 cups of coffee or 10 cups of sugar-free liquids. No, that's not the way to do it. They have to be spread throughout the day, and the more we drink, the less we want to eat in a way, because it does fill you up, and people who don't drink enough should really consider seriously increasing the fluid intake.
We are this evening talking to a specialist obesity dietitian from the Kent Community Health NHS Trust. So how do you tackle morbid obesity?
Morbid obesity, obviously, it's quite difficult subject, as the body weight is quite high, and in a way it took quite a bit of years to get to that stage. You know, you don't wake up in the morning, next day say, oh my God, I'm so big, what happened to me? No, it's a gradual process, happened throughout years. And in a way, when tackle it, we need to realize that it took several years to get to that stage. It will take several years to get backwards. Quick solutions, unfortunately, not the most successful one, unless we go to bariatric surgery and the consequences. And I must say, not all bariatric surgeries are successful. And actually, people can gain weight after bariatric surgery, and this thing is not stressed at all in the media, fortunately. So really, there is no quick solution for weight beside changing eating habits. When talking about morbid obesity with BMI more than 40, basically, and here is our service coming to line, we tackle it through 3 different venues. Nutrition dietitian, which is myself. We have a therapist or psychologist. Her name is Lisa Brooks Taylor. We have exercise physiologist, who is Mary Ellen. And we have assistant to Mary Ellen, also with exercise, Joanna Simarian, and 3 specialists, basically specialities: dietetics, psychology, and exercise have to be part of the package deal to address quite extensive weight issues. And in our service, what we do, we assess all the clients that refer to us individually, and we are aiming to educate people on healthy lifestyle. The education happening in basically almost like a class, in a group type of sessions that we give the topics, we discuss with people, in a way teaching them a new material that hopefully will open the horizons to the way to say actually there is a solution for that. And on top of the education session on that include dietetics and therapy, we also have exercise sessions that run throughout the year. And that's the way basically how our service is handled. I want to mention that this service is specifically for quite extensive obesity. In Swale, and actually across Kent, you also have a service for lesser extent of weight, BMI between 25 and 35, and it's happening actually in the local pharmacies. I would like to give you some information how to access the services and how to find this information. And the easiest way, really, people who have computers at home, is to log on the Kent Community Health NHS Trust homepage. And when you are on the homepage, click on our services. It will be top of the page. When you clicked our services, go down to the section called select by location, basically by location. Just select by location, the location of Canterbury and Swale, because we're in Swell here. And on the right-hand side, you will see all the services that is provided for the local population. And it's not just weight, basically. We have, under umbrella, we have exercise referrals. We have the weight management, as I mentioned, called Fresh Start. This is for the less obesity. We have health trainers. We have Stop Smoking, Family Lifestyle Club, Health Walks, Nutrition and Food Champions, and of course, our SWIMS program, the Specialized Weight Management Service. You can look at the website and select the program appropriate for you. For many of the programs, it's enough that anyone pick up the phone or contact them directly. Some services like ours, the Specialist Weight Management, need a referral from a GP or any other healthcare provider, but this will be stated on the website. People who just want to phone in, I will give you the number to contact. I will repeat it later on so you can prepare a pen and paper if you don't have it right now in front of you. But for the moment, people have is 0800 849 4000. And you have options, about 8 options, and basically you will select the option you would like to hear. Just to mention that the weight management, the general weight management for people between BMI 25 and 35, you will select option 2. My services with the more intense obesity, Specialized Weight Management, you will select number 7. But I will repeat the numbers later on to people who haven't got right now the pen and paint in front of them. But that's basically, I would definitely encourage people to use it because of the variety of services, which is basically free of charge. And you can, in many cases, you can refer yourself to the services directly.
Before you go, I was just wondering, is there anything else you'd like to cover? And of course, it'd be really good for our listeners if you could go over all those useful contact details you've mentioned during the interview.
Yes, I'll happy to repeat it. So I would like to repeat, let's start from the internet. So people who have computers at home, log on the Kent Community Health NHS Trust, basically type it in the Google search, and when the homepage appears, go to our services on the top part of the homepage. Then go down on the page, you will find by location, and select Canterbury and Swale. When you basically select Canterbury and Swale, on the right hand side of the page will appear automatically all the services that the trust provides in this area. And you will find a lot of services, and you can just read them and select what is interesting to you. From all the services, I'd still want to mention that beside weight, you still have services like health trainers, Stop Smoking, Family Lifestyle Club, Health Walks, Food Champions, that majority of them do not require referral from a GP. Basically, it's a self-referral, including the weight management scheme, which called right now also Fresh Start, which is a lesser degree of weight problem. And you can call them, contact them through the internet, and you will be seen in a local pharmacy. My service, which is the Specialized Weight Management Service, needs a referral from a GP or any other health professional. That's different from the rest of the services. But this information on the internet, on the Trust homepage. If you want to phone, do it by phone. So I'm repeating the phone number right now. I hope you have right now pen and paper. So it is 0800 849 4000, and you'll select option 2 for the Fresh Start, the weight management scheme, or my services, which is Specialized Weight Management Service, option 7. before I finish, I just really want to reiterate that I do understand that some people have weight issues for life. Some people have successfully lost weight and unfortunately regained all weight and more. There is a solution. People need to understand that even though there is no magic wand, but there is a solution. And in our services, we do teach people think differently. Look at their lifestyle, regarding nutrition, regarding exercise, physical activity, regarding mental well-being, the psychology, the therapy. And there is a solution. People can lose weight successfully, and most importantly, to maintain for life the new weight. And that's crucial. I do encourage people to look in our services. I do encourage people to be motivated to come to us, and you will find that there is a solution.
I'd like to thank you very much for coming along and telling our listeners all about your role and, of course, covering those other subjects for us as well.
Pleasure. It was really nice meeting you.
So that's Addic talking to us all about his role as a specialist obesity dietitian from the Kent Community Health NHS Trust this evening, right here at the Daniel Monday Night Community Show.